Hey, what's up, everybody? What's going on? This is the IMC, and I'm here with Caroline tonight. And welcome to the Meeting of the Minds podcast. Tonight's episode: Do we complain too much as a generation? Episode 20. So we're gonna jump right into it. Do we complain too much about problems?
You got the questions? Because I forgot.
Yeah, that was the first one. Do we complain too much about problems? I know that's
I
a
feel like
very
we do. I don't know. It's a give or take type of thing because the time we living in is different than other people.
mm,
Shit. Like there's still current events going on, but like cost of living is higher, wages aren't matching. Those are not problems that maybe our parents experienced when they were our age. They were probably experiencing something different. As far as complaining too much, I think that can go both ways. Because probably previous generations didn't have an opportunity to vent and talk about how they felt.
mm.
But then, you got people quitting jobs because like they don't like how their supervisor said hi on a previous Tuesday. So, you know, brother Ray in the building. What's up, boss?
Ah, I'm here. What's going on, guys?
Um,
We're just getting started, man. I hear
First
you.
question.
Yeah. Do we complain too much about problems? Would you like to answer that, Ray?
Sure. I say we do. Um, and only because I think that a lot of times some of the things that we complain about really are self-inflicted. And if you think about it in a long-term perspective, what can we really do outside of complaining, right? Like when it comes to like certain social issues, I can understand. When it comes to economic issues, I can definitely understand that too. But my overall thinking, my overall process now is like, what's the purpose of complaining if there's no solutions behind it? Um, I watch a lot of these videos and I see a lot of these things on like social media and such, like when it comes to like relationship, fashion, all that other stuff. And people tend to have like the same talking points. The stuff that I've heard today, I can hear tomorrow, I've heard years ago. My question to all that is like, okay, so you made your you have your grievances. Now, what's the solution? So I think that we complain too much and don't give adequate solutions to what we're complaining about. You're on mute.
Sorry, thank you. Very well said. I think, one of the issues that we have, and I can tell you, social media, but specifically avenues such as Facebook and YouTube, a lot of people put too much of their personal business. Like they'll be like, oh, I just got kicked out of my apartment or my partner is doing this. Instead of talking to that person about what's going on or what you're feeling, you're going on a rant. Now, the good thing about back in the days is that there was no type of social media. If you wanted to talk trash about somebody, you had to do it in their face. If you wanted to complain about a problem, you had to do it out in the open field. But now, because we have these things called smartphones, everything is saved and recorded for years to come on the internet. For example, if you go and you complain about the church and saying blank this and blank that, but then expect for people to still have grace for you, it's like, yo, you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot. It's kind of a mute point. It's like uh you want to get off, you go on a reality show to talk about like I have issues with alcoholism and all this other stuff. And then you recently get caught in the same situation. But later on, you're just gonna complain about it over and over again. Sometimes I believe that we need to do things in private and not expose the world to sometimes our madness. Not everybody needs to know what we're thinking, right? Sometimes it's okay to just be quiet and not talk, you know? But everybody wants to have a mouthpiece about this and about that. It's like, yo, no solutions are being made. We're walking around in circles. We're like, you're on the phone with somebody, like, Yeah. Oh, word. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It was the same thing again. And I'm not gonna lie, I do it myself. Especially when it might come to church or work, and it's like, yo, what can I do to change it? Sometimes it's just best to be quiet. Now let's move on to the next question. Are most of the things we talk about self-induced issues? Caroline?
I was having a conversation with somebody this week about how political correctiveness, I'm not quite sure how that phrase goes, um, is
Political
going
correct.
to partially be the death of us. Like we complain, sometimes people complain about things that's like, what did you think otherwise? And they want the world to change to accommodate them. For example, a plus size woman going on the airplane demanding a free seat on top of the seat she's paid for because she can't fit in the seat that she paid for. That's not the airline's fault. That's your problem. Have you been on a Amtrak train? The doorways are narrow. The seats are sized for regular people. So where did you think you were going? If you have an issue with the sizing of the seats, it's on you. Me personally, I think it's on the individual to pay for an extra seat. Sit up, put up their armrest, stretch the seatbelt. Or like you go to a restaurant demanding a certain type of food, knowing that the restaurant doesn't serve that or doesn't serve it like that. So it's sometimes the complaints come from a place of entitlement, and it blows my mind, or like people go to a restaurant or go to an establishment, not even just a eatery. They mismanage their time there, or they don't follow the rules of the establishment, and they come on social media expecting outrage, expecting for people's businesses to be tagged, using their audiences to drive up negative reviews. When you investigate, do the research, come to find out the person who made the post is in the wrong. Like that one lady who went to a ranch or whatever trying to horseback ride, and they told her she couldn't because if she did it, it's over the weight. So that for me is confusing because why are you living like this?
That's
Uh,
true. And we live in this sort of a bubble, as I would say. Um, yeah, there is some level of entitlement. Somebody might think because they're the best singer, oh, I should get that solo in that Christmas concert, or this person is the best preacher. Oh, you got to lay out everything for me. I gotta have, I gotta be comfortable while I'm up there on the pulpit. Just throwing in different examples. Or going to a restaurant and someone accidentally calls you sir, and it's like, oh, no, 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 it's she, it's her, it's her. But then talking about, oh, it's like a knife in the heart. But you gone to 5 other restaurants and done the same thing, trying to get servers in trouble because they won't adhere. Like, yo, if you look like a man, that's how you're going to be addressed. If I can still see your 5 o'clock shadow, you know, like if your name is John and that's what you were called, I'm gonna call you John. Just like Cameron said, his mother named him Larry. I'm gonna call him Larry. But yeah. Ray, go ahead, my brother.
I agree. I think that some things are self-induced. Like for example, the whole Super Bowl scandal with Lil Wayne and Kendrick Lamar. Um, Nobody told Lil Wayne that he was gonna get the Super Bowl halftime show, but he took it to heart because he felt like because it was in his city that he was the one that was going to be a performer there. So it's situations like that. Um, it's situations where like some people will come online and say things like, "Oh, I'm a good person. Why is X, Y, and Z thing happening to me?" And then when you look back into their life history, or you look back into certain aspects of their life, you'll see like, okay, maybe I wasn't the best at this. Maybe I didn't do this correctly. Maybe I didn't pay attention to like details and such. It's like those people that make it seem like everybody else is bad and they're like the only ones that's good. Or like those men who come online and make it seem like all women are like terrible. And then when you check like their dating history, they've chose certain types of women or vice versa. So a lot of it really is self-induced. And then there are things that are like out of your control, like let's say a job loss, or let's say a death of a child, or a death of a family member, or just like circumstances, or like maybe foreclosure on a home. Like those type of things are like out of your control. But a lot of the stuff I would say is self-induced.
I agree. I agree. And if we're gonna talk about self-induced, I want to say, I think sometimes a lot of us we play victim. We'll do something to somebody, and all of a sudden we're like, "Oh, why does this person hate me? That person hate me?" If you have a long history, like if I take this book and I run through it and I can see everything that you've done, it's like, and there's notes. At some point, you have to take some form of accountability. It's easy to go on the internet and be like, "Yo, these people don't like me because of so and so." No, it's not that they don't like you. It's just that you weren't chosen, or they don't want to be around you because they know the energy that you bring. And bringing up the Little Wayne thing, um, I think the game felt entitlement too when it came to the Super Bowl. He complained that he wasn't put on the bill for a Super Bowl. I think it was 2023 or 2022, one of those two, and he was complaining about it on some platform that he was on. But the fact of the matter is that you would not be in the same bill as 50 and Eminem because you have beef with them. You've continually dissed both of them. You did a diss record about it, Eminem. So what made you think that you had some form of entitlement to be around people that tried to help you boost in your career, and you kind of threw them to the side like they were trash? You know, everything that we do has a consequence. So when someone leaves and decides that they don't want to be a part of this situation anymore, or they get out of this toxic environment, you got to understand the level of entitlement. It's sky high. You think that you should be revered in such a way that people should, you know, just throw out the best for you, put their coats on the ground as you walk in the rain. Like, no, you don't deserve that. If everything you make about you, sometimes you just have to step back and be like, you know what, I am the problem. Because if you had 20 friends or 20 people that loved you and really supported you, and now they're all going away, you can't tell somebody like, oh, this one they went and did XYZ. No, you treated them bad. Be honest and tell the truth. In this day and age, not only do we hold other people accountable, we have to hold ourselves accountable as well. Let's move on to the third question. Why do we believe that others should care about what is happening with us? This is a great question. This is a great question. I'm gonna let Ray answer first, and then I want to hear from Caroline.
Can you pull the question back up? Thank you, sir.
Why do we believe
Um,
that others? Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I would say because we're looking for like empathy in our situations. We're looking for someone to understand us, or multiple people to understand us, or see things from our perspective. And sometimes I can understand why, especially if you're in a situation where you feel like nobody's trying to hear what you're trying to say, or no one is giving you the opportunity to speak on what you're dealing with. But in the long run, everybody has their own situations to deal with, whether personally or collectively with other people. And I think that unfortunately, the world is cold, and people aren't really that open minded to other people's situations like that, because they have their own that they're dealing with. And the first thing that as people that we do is self preservate. So I don't think that people would really want to care in the long run. I don't think that people will care in the long run. It's just good. It's just good. I guess publicity in the beginning.
Wow, that's profound right there. I like that. Caroline?
I just love that Ray's a family man. That just makes my heart glad. This don't got nothing to do with the topic. I'm just okay. As far as why do we think people should care so much? That's a good question. Primarily for me because the push for individualism, um, no one should care about the next person. We're not holding doors for people anymore. When people just talk about like they're in a crisis, it's just like we're not trying to hear that. We all struggling. So sometimes it's like a cry for help, and then the next minute it's like a complaint. So and sometimes it's difficult to differentiate between the two, especially when you got your own thing going on. You're not listening. You're not hearing. You're not listening to understand. You're listening to respond. I think society as a whole does not have the attention span one to empathize with another person, and number two, everybody is so bogged down with their own situation. You want other people to care because you think that's what humans do when you connected with your emotions or whatever. And then when people don't care, it's like okay. But people want you to complain that like they weave didn't get delivered and like they lost their favorite pen and they little stuff, when there's bigger things to be concerned about, like I got my first check as an employee in New York, and I was trying to figure out where my money at because the taxation is real. I see why they threw tea bags overboard in the bus because wow, okay, systematic issues. We not worried about your bus being late, Gabe. You should have been at the bus stop early. Good, Gabe.
Why you bringing that
Gabe,
up?
you always have an MTA story. I'm trying to figure out
Why
what
you
be
bringing
happening
that up
on your buses.
in this
Always,
conversation, please?
always. And I be scrolling through social media like somebody hug him, somebody give him his
It's
own
bad.
bus, his own
I know.
train, so he by
Yes,
himself.
thank you. It's bad.
And
I'm
so we
sorry.
bogged down with like all these little, and then social media don't help. It's just flooded with opinions, and it's different. It's difficult to like. This is important. This is important. This is like you just feeling yourself. You know, when I feel like when social media was not, when you had to log into Facebook on the desktop, Twitter too, before they was like the app store. Well, there's always been an app store, but it's too much. Like we always think we always have to have an opinion on like why Nick Candy got so many kids. I'm not paying for them. I wish he'd stop, but like I'm not writing a dissertation on social media about like you know people think that somebody should stop and read. No, I'm scrolling past. I'm looking for memes. I don't understand, but that's just mine.
We actually
Honestly,
discussed that
oh sorry.
like 2 years ago. I think we had a discussion on that. The King Solomon theory. Now, fuck. I'm done. I'm done.
No, honestly though, like to Caroline's point, I actually like it when people like post their stuff on social media because I be intensely looking for like things to say just to start stuff because it's fun. Like when people post their information like, "Oh, my baby daddy left me for a white woman" or something like that, right? I just be like, "So what does she look like?" I mean, you're inviting us to your information. I want to know, you know? Or better yet, when people say things like, "Oh, I need money for X, Y, and Z," and then they'll be trying to like spam other people in the comments, and I reply, and it's like, I need money too. Can you help me? Like I'm under McDonald's Wi-Fi right now. I'm living out of a box. Like help me. Like help me. Like sometimes I think that like you have to find your own form of entertainment when it comes to social media because like some of this stuff will have you like people really believe this, but then somebody like me will be like, okay, let's test your theory. Well, if you actually believe what you believe, why is it not working out for you? Like if
No
like
lie,
those
Ray.
people.
You when I come on Facebook and it's like Ray commented on your post. I gotta be like, ooh. Before I even click the notification, like, what rate done said now? What? And then you go to it, and it's just like, I'm gonna just laugh at this because there ain't no way you put all of these words together to formulate this thought and said post. I don't know.
Yes, because honestly, like if you invite people to your business, I want to know the season finale of what happened in your business. I want to know the next season, right? I want to know the
I was
plots.
talking to somebody about this today or yesterday. It's like you post all your business and then be like, such and such happened, respect my privacy. You don't even respect your privacy.
Exactly.
So share more,
Yes,
or
please.
like if somebody's dating somebody, they all in the pictures posting whatever. Next thing you know, all the pictures gone. No, you shared the relationship with us. Now tell us why y'all broke up.
Exactly. Like,
Or we
you
see the
see?
whole pictures of the pregnancy, the baby shower. No, show me my niece, my nephew. Like, where's this baby at?
Exactly. Yeah. Like, I want to know, or like, why are you posting pictures
I
without the
understand. I
baby
understand.
daddy, or
Right.
without the baby
For
mother?
sure.
Like, I need to know why. What happened? Like, I can't help you, but what happened? Let me
You just
know.
want to know. I'm not your
Yeah.
therapist, but I just want to know. Yeah.
Exactly. So
You know what? Let me say something.
You know who be
Recently, right?
sharing opinions and don't be asking people permission for it to show up on their timeline? Gabe.
Well, me. What do you mean?
This is
nah, you be
outside of
having some
MTA.
MTA
This is
story.
like
Well, I be saying some bad
1984
stuff.
Run DMC released a track. I think it's amazing
Oh,
because Goldilocks is a
yeah.
movie that was showed in a school that I went to a couple years ago, and
Oh my
here are my clinical thoughts as to why you know as to why Big Bird shouldn't be yellow. I just be like, Gabe, did you have breakfast today? What is going on? What
Of
you be
course,
thinking about
obviously.
while you traveling to and from your destinations? You know what? This grocery store was opened on Merrick
In like
and
1606.
Hillside in 1909. This is how the roads look. I found this picture. Somebody sent it to me. I have it.
Nah, he
This
went
is this
viral
is
for the
Jamaica and
college bus.
Parsons before dollar vans came. Look at the brick road. And I
Hmm.
just be like, Gabe, what are you reading? What is happening?
I
Nah,
love to share
You
little
I know
tidbits
this
of
don't have nothing to
information.
do with the conversation, but it do. Sharing opinions that people think you think people should care about.
he
It,
went
it-
viral.
He did.
well, I
I
mean,
picked that, and he had to go back and correct himself because somebody checked him. Yeah.
oh, you know what I went viral for? Some information about the
MTA.
165th bus depot on
I remember that.
Me
and
too.
the person hit me up, he was like, nah, we not doing XYZ. So I had to make a correction. Like that joint got about 500 shares. But then I got a share of pictures of old um packages of cheese doodles. There was like 7 different types, and I got like 523 or 600 shares just off of that alone. But I'm gonna tell you, people hate my opinions too. And it's not like I always want people to care, but um sometimes fun stuff. Other times, stuff I put is like somebody will start an argument, like, and I'm just
I
like, yo,
enjoy
I
your
got.
post, Gabe. I'm just
No,
teasing.
I know. But I wanted to say something about the when it comes to why do we believe that others should care about what has happened with us? I wanted to briefly talk about Takedown with Chris Hansen, right? He got a new show, and these dudes, you already know who Chris Hansen is from Dateline. You never heard of To Catch a Predator? Yeah, so these dudes be like, please don't put me on camera, sir. You're invading my privacy. No, you already opened up your privacy when you was talking to this underage young lady. They'll be like, yo, don't put me on camera, like, and he'll be like, yo, what were you doing here? Oh, I was just coming over here to have some pizza and watch a movie. Are you sure? Yeah, I have the transcript right here. Oh no, so I wasn't doing that. It's right here. Here, let me read it to you. And it's funny. Even those that try to make themselves out to be victims on that program, they want people to have sympathy. Sympathy for what? You are the most vile, disgusting individual on this earth. You're 70 something years old, messing with someone that's underage. Like, so we have people that are both good and bad in this world that want everyone to care about what's going on. Like, oh, I broke my collarbone. Yeah, because you were doing backflips off the bed all day. Like, You know what I mean? Like, or my wife left me. Yeah, because you kept on DMing other women, and she knew it, but just like a job, she wanted to wait till you did one wrong thing to be like, all right, that's it, you're done. You know, but yeah, that's life. We
Honestly,
go.
though, like, I'm sorry. I don't know if you're finished.
No, go ahead, Ray. Go ahead, bro.
Nah,
Go ahead.
honestly, I'm not gonna hold you. Like some of these married people that like, I'm in a marriage group on Facebook, and some of the stuff that they be writing to be wild. Like some, I don't want to share it because this is YouTube, but
Of
like
course.
some of the stuff that they be saying, I'd just be like, well then, tell us more. And then some of them be having some of them be having the nerve to tell you, oh, stay out of my business. In the back of my mind, I'm like, you brought it to the forefront, so we want to know. Like, I'll give an example, right? A very clean example, right?
All
So
right.
because sometimes they do it on anonymous, right?
Mhm.
So somebody would say like, oh, um, my wife, no, I'm sorry, my husband is a fat slob, right? He eats cheese doodles out his belly button, and in the back, in the back of my mind, I just be like, yo, you came. You like sometimes there be those memes that be like, you came on the internet, you told this to the whole internet. Like, why do we need to know this? Or like sometimes, like, especially unfortunately, people of non-melanated descent,
Mhm.
um, will say things like, "Yeah, well, my husband or my actually no, my wife, she poops in the shower and stuffs it down the drain," and I just be like, "You like, why do we need? What are we gonna do about this?" Like we can't force your partner to have bathroom etiquette. We can't do
Yo,
nothing
and they
about
be
it.
talking. I'm not in no marriage groups for real, but they be talking about like they husbands be having
Doodle
booty stains in
stains.
their drawers.
Hold up, yo! Shout out to Carlins. Thank you for the laughing emoji, bro. Anyway, let's continue.
All right, shit.
Let's
But
continue.
yeah, like nah, like even like you remember you guys remember the years ago when they were talking about people not washing their legs and taking showers like once every couple days.
Oh,
I
they do
just
that now. Talking about
no,
I
I
watch
know.
my Tyler doesn't take a shower. They only take a shower once a week.
No,
How?
for real.
How?
Or better yet, oh my child took a swim, he took a bath. I just be like, ew, like why do we the public need to know this information? What is it gonna do for us?
But that's just like the same people like, yo, I just had to do it at my crib. He stretched me out, and then next thing you know, my husband came home. Hey, you know what I mean? Stuff like people are scandalous on this internet. They're scandalous. But go ahead, man.
Nah, I'm just saying, like, even the post, I think Caroline went viral for a post, I think a year ago. I can't
She did.
remember the exact post, but yeah, you did. You had like, it was like an Oakwood post or something, some Christian post,
Oh, it was about
the
the
Pathfinder
camper
post. Yeah,
t-shirt.
yeah. And I just be like, wow, like,
Oh
y'all just
yeah.
be shameless.
this this
Careful now.
this listen this listen this listen and don't judge
Judge?
challenge.
Oh no, I
They need
listen,
they
I
need to put
judge.
it back. Why would you tell people these things? Some of the things people are sharing should have been things that they took to their grave. Whenever I share any of them posts, I'm telling other people's business or like what I saw someone else do. I'm not going to
Hmm.
sit up in here. These people, real comfortable talking about this person got a train ran on them and what they doing behind closed doors. And it's like,
Hmm.
God is watching you. Can you not?
Yeah. Meanwhile, Pop's having a heart attack finding out that his daughter supported the local MTA.
Nah, I mean, I honestly, when it comes to the whole we listen and we don't judge, I be listening and I be judging. And I don't care what no one says
That
because some of the stuff that like Caroline says, some of the stuff that people be posting, like, oh, um, I think somebody had posted, oh, I like to have sex on my period, and I just be like, ew, like, why do we need to know this?
it's
Ew.
disgusting. Like that's crazy.
Or better yet, like, you guys remember when Glorilla said, oh, she liked it when her man nut in her food? I just
Yeah.
be like, ew.
And it was a joke, but it was a poor joke.
It don't matter. It don't matter. That's disgusting.
But old girl talking about her booty hole brown.
Now you know what's crazy? Some women will be like, "Yo, I got that good A1, but he still cheated on you." It don't matter how many women tag you in a post.
Nah, it means it's trash.
Dude still cheating on you. Like, I don't know what it is. I'm sorry. Like, it don't matter if you cook, you could do this, you could do that. Sometimes certain men are just going to cheat, but you shouldn't let the world know your information like that. We should be thinking that you're at least halfway happy, or or nothing at all. You know, just post like, oh, um, First Corinthians chapter 23. Like, give us just a Bible quote and that's it. We don't need to hear about what happened, how you cursed out your boss, and he let you go from the job. All right, like, yo, but these kids, yo, you want to know what I saw on the internet the other day? There was this guy that was talking to this young girl and asked her like, "How old are you?" Oh, she's like, "Oh, I'm 10 in the fourth grade."
What?
And then he asked her to spell off. She was like, FOO. He's like, no. He's like, yo, spell off, OOFF. And then he said, spell ice, ICE. And then he said, put that together. She said, off ice. I was like, what is wrong with this generation? Like, do you not know how to form words? And then she said she want to be a drill rapper. This is why even that Red Balloon challenge where they had the 8-year-olds, like, what are we? Yes.
8-year-olds?
Yes. 8-year-olds doing the Red Balloon challenge. Like, come on. At a certain point, certain things gotta stay off the internet. Like, I'm tired of seeing Shamar too. Like, you know. I'm tired of seeing dude, bro. Go somewhere. She got a babe. You ain't messing with her. Nah, we don't want to hear that no more, bro. Well, let's go on to the next question.
No.
Do we unfairly compare our situations with others? What I mean by that is, if someone is going through something that's very severe, and we're going through something that's just light, why is it that we believe that whatever we're going through should be on the same level as what they're dealing with, and that vice versa, everybody should tend to the issue or the problem the same way? All right, so Caroline, you're up.
That question can go a variety of ways. People like to compare pain to see if they can out hurt other people, or if their ability to be hurt is higher or lower than another person. I like to think just because someone experienced more things than you does not make what you experienced less traumatic. And now we're in a place where we can publicize our pain, publicize our depression, mental health, finances, whatever. People are genuinely looking for community. Either they're looking for community or they're looking for sympathy and or attention. For the people looking for community, they get lost in the people looking for attention. People who like try to raise money for a cause get lost in the people trying to scam, or people trying to profit off of whatever happened to them. I think that the upgrade is here outside, but he's here.
Hey,
I'm only here for a second. Okay,
that's fine.
All we
Not a
need,
problem,
brother.
man.
God is still on the
Appreciate your
throne,
presence.
okay?
No matter how brief it may be.
Okay, we appreciate it. We appreciate it. I think when we were more isolated in terms of like the availability to communicate via message or social media was limited, we had to, a lot of people were suffering in silence. They still are, but they weren't like calling up friends and doing whatever you could. And then like what I be doing, like, oh, you feel away? here's a meme. Nobody really know that like life be happening. It's like, oh, I kind of meme about midgets. Let me share that, and everybody laughing or whatever. Or like you try to encourage the people. So it go both ways. Some people looking for attention. Some people looking for community. And sometimes it's hard to differentiate between what they looking for.
Well said. Ray and then upgrade.
Yeah. Just pull up the question again for me, please.
Sure.
I would say yeah, we do. Only because we do what's relative to us. So a lot of times we think that our problems are bigger than other people's problems, which is fair because we're concerned about what we have going on. Sometimes, like Caroline said, it is unhealthy because when you take the time to actually look at it, the problem isn't as big as we make it seem. It's just the impact is as big that we make it seem. Like, for example, let's say, you've gone through a situation where you lost something happened to you, something that you love, right? Even though you can replace it, yeah, the impact is still there because you took time out to take care of it. You took time to invest into it and everything like that. So, as opposed to somebody else who may have lost a family member, who may have lost a friend, who may have lost their entire, life savings, etc. So, I think it's just a natural human thing that we compare, try to do the whole apples to oranges thing because we want people to think about our situation as much as we think of our situation. So,
Well said. Well said. All right, so I'm gonna put the question up again for upgrade so he can see it. Do we
Do we
unfairly?
unfairly compare situations with others? I think we do at times. It just depends on the situation. I know internally, as a mature person, one thing that I try to do is I look at somebody's situation and then I look at my own, and I could either gain sympathy, empathy, or just a deeper understanding of, okay, that person might be going through something and I might be going through something too, and I can't feel it. Others is where, like, I'm more empathetic. Like, for instance, I have aunts who've passed away. So like on Mother's Day, because I'm so close to my cousin who lost his mother, I'm hesitant. Like, I text my mother and say Happy Mother's Day, but I'm hesitant to post a whole bunch of stuff knowing that his mother's not alive. You know what I'm saying? Like, things like that. So sometimes I compare it in a way where I might not do things because of how other people feel, not necessarily how I feel. Like, I don't really compare my situation now and say, oh, that person's better off than me. When I was younger, I did that. As I've gotten older, life be lifing. So, I certain situations I do unfairly look and be like, yo, how that person got what they got? And then other times I sit back and realize, like, that ain't none of my business. That's not my life path. I'm not meant to be there at that moment. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know how they got there, how they did that. So, and that humbles me a lot to allow me to just sit down for a second and be like, all right, what is your plan and what's your trajectory? So I see it in that way. Yep.
Well said. Well said. Um, I'm gonna give my input very briefly. Me as a person, I can feel empathy for others, and sometimes people may not feel empathy for me based on the situation. But I will never try to compare pain or problems. If someone is going through something deep, the most that I can give, if it's a family member that has passed away, I might give my condolences because sometimes that's the only thing that you can do. That's number one. Number two, it doesn't matter what I'm going through at that moment. My stuff is small compared to the things that they have to deal with. You know, I might complain about things in my job or things at church, but you got someone that's dealing with a whole medical situation and they've been dealing with it for the last year and a half. You know, there's a brother on here. There's a brother on Facebook that preaches, and he's diabetic. He only has one leg, but never has he complained to God or been upset about his circumstances. He's made mistakes in his life. He has publicly talked about the mistakes that he has made, and he has made peace with it. And at the end of the day, when he's giving messages of hope He wants people to understand, like, listen, there has to be some form of accountability. I was doing X, Y, Z, but God revealed to me, like, yo, if you don't stop doing this, your life is going to end up somewhere different. So, you always got to count your blessings. And when things look like it could be the worst for you, imagine that someone is going through something that is almost 10 times as worse. We always want to try to compare and be like, no, what I'm dealing with is greater. Sometimes you just have to be mindful. Be thankful that whatever it is that you're dealing with is not as bad or as painful as what the next person has to go through. Now, we're going to go to the next question. What is the purpose of sharing complaints?
Um, from a man's perspective, you can find a solution. From a woman's perspective, you can vent for an unlimited amount of time with no solution in mind. Sometimes, like, I want to complain about my job. I can't leave it because I got bills. But dudes just be like, okay, so what you want to do? Let's make a list. No, just listen. And I feel like dudes be getting frustrated with women to be like, if you're not gonna fix it, why are you talking to me about it? That's just my 2 cents. I mean, the boys can speak if they want to, but I know everything. So
Um, I would say like the purpose of complaining is to hopefully to find a solution, but I would say the purpose of complaining on the internet is to get a reaction or maybe get some money or or some type of brand deal or something. But for me, I think people complain on the internet so people like me can just be like, well, what are you gonna do about it? Or, well, um, help me, help you, help us. Because if you're gonna be complaining that you're broke, well, I'm broke too. So we're just gonna be two broke people online begging for money. One of us is gonna get money, maybe not me, but if you get some money, then I would like some too because I helped you out. Um, so there's stuff like that. Um, but overall, I think it's to really to have people to at least listen to what you're going through. 'Cause I think a lot of times there are people who go through things silently and don't have a way of like letting it all out. And I think that's one of the reasons why like people commit, they remove themselves from the earth because maybe they don't have somebody that's willing to listen, to at least just listen to them. Maybe not find solutions, but like Caroline said, just listen to them and maybe try to understand what they're going through.
I agree. All right, upgrade. You're up.
All right. You might be a little mad at me. So the sound had cut off the whole time I was talking. There's some shorties over here is fighting by dominoes. I don't even know what's going on because I'm trying to get the scoop before something happened, and then I'm trying to get back to the sound, but that's not really working. This shorty's still over there pressing about something. Oh, and she got red hair too. Oh, she fighting with somebody. That's what it is. Oh, let me not even get to that. My bad. A lot of stuff
It's all
happened.
right.
So why do people complain? Okay. So that was the question, right?
Yes. What is the purpose of sharing complaints?
Online, right?
I mean, just in general.
I mean, I've learned not to complain anymore. I don't know. Like Caroline texts me a lot. She be like, "Hey, Carlos, how are you?" And I'm like, "Hey, life is life." But like, she won't ever hear me complain because what is there to like? There's nothing. I can't really complain. Like God, what I'm saying, God is good. You know what I'm saying? God's good. I think sometimes though people do want to share complaints so that other people can see what they're going through. It's kind of like, whoa, hear me cry. You know, it's like when you think about like when you see some people give out the information and you look and you be like, yo, what? Nobody asked you for that. Like what Ray said in the group chat, they be just posting stuff up. Nobody asked you for that, and then you get mad. We'll be asking you because you put it up there. So now we want to know. Now you want to know. So I think a lot of people just share their complaints just because they want to be heard. You know what I'm saying? Like they want to be heard. And I mean, there's different things to complain about if you're somebody who does like social media and stuff, and you're a complainer or you're a commentator. That's a different story. But there are some people out here really just trying to get attention. Like they ain't got no attention from nobody, and so they go out there and they just start sharing complaints, or somebody posts something, and then all of you, and then they just pop out. Anytime somebody just posts up, they just pop out, and they just start trolling. They just complaining about stuff. Oh, but oh, just you just it'd be a hot mess. People need to get out their feelings. I don't know. We're in the age of feelings. I think that's why everybody's sharing their complaints. Because we're in the age of feelings. Because back in the day, who really was sitting there complaining?
But what's wrong with feelings?
Huh?
What's wrong with feelings?
Ain't nothing wrong with feelings. It's just the fact that feelings can't control everything. We gotta be logical and rational in this place. If we just emotional all day, we out of control. If we lead with our emotions, we out of control. If we're literally leading with all of our emotions, we're out of control. Most of the time, yes, we're supposed to lead with our emotions. We do, and sometimes we get where we got to get to. But think about it. Right now, we at an age where people are in the. You literally, somebody hurt your feelings off of what you said. You going to jail. It's a Me Too movement. No, it got to stop. I feel like today I'm a car. Today I'm a Mercedes Benz. And so now, guess what? I'm walking around, identifies me as a Mercedes Benz. That's what we at today.
Hey, I identify as a white billionaire, so just say
feelings, because I feel this way. So come on, we got to listen.
what?
Again, we can feel feelings. At the end of the day, anybody except for your friends and your family, the world don't care.
Are you
The
telling
world
me
don't
that
care.
Are you telling me that I can't identify as a white billionaire?
You can do whatever you want. I don't care. You understand? I don't care, because if that's the case, I identify as a motherfucking tree.
I mean, they
That's
have
it.
communities for that,
I know they do. They got communities for trees. They got people who are cats and dogs, identify as animals. Listen,
Let me take it
all
back.
I'm saying is, the sharing of the complaints is because a lot of people are in their feelings, and they're internet thugs, and they just be sitting there and tapping off. You know what I'm saying? Because they know nobody coming over there. You know what I'm saying? But like, we're not doing it like it was old days. Like, you're not gonna say something in somebody's real face, because the internet is so wide and everybody's so big and we're all interconnected with everywhere. You can talk shit to somebody in England. You ain't gonna do nothing. They're gonna be like, yeah, I can say whatever I want and do whatever. Yes. So, and people in their feelings, it's too much. The sharing of the complaints is too much. It's different if you get paid for it. It's different if that's what you do. But there's too many people out here just trolling. That's what they just love to do. I'm just gonna make another profile, and I'm just gonna troll people, and I'm just gonna just complain about things that I just feel. But I don't want to be me, but I'm gonna complain as somebody else, but not me, because I'm too scared to be me. But I feel this way, so I'm gonna be somebody else who I feel like being. Get the fuck out of here.
Sounds personal.
Me and my cat is saying,
is that a complaint or you?
Yeah, was that a complaint?
No, that was a complaint. That was more of, but you see,
Why are you complaining?
but you see, it's more of us. But you see, again, this is what we do, right? We are.
Do
I have a solution to this? Yes. You know what the solution is? I think one of the solution is I think that people should take time off of social media. That's one.
Just unplug it and plug it back in.
Um,
No,
I think I
I
think
like to.
that you do.
It gives me entertainment. Are you serious?
I mean, it gives. Listen. Me and my daughter was just watching some entertainment earlier, and I was just like, "Listen, daughter, don't end up like her." And my daughter was dying laughing, and I was like, "You know what? This might be some new commentary stuff I might make. I might make commentary for my daughters and be like, you know what? Don't end up like them." And that's it. Just the commentary of the girls, so I don't want the man like. You know what I'm saying? And not because it's entertainment, but it's like there's entertainment, and then there's like the extra. But there's always going to be, because you can't stop the internet. The internet is worldwide. You can't stop it. So I mean, the best solution is for the people who are in their feelings. They need to like sometimes get off of Facebook and stuff. Like me, I take days off of Facebook, days off of social media. You know why? Because they don't control me. It's not a real place. It's not a real place, but many people think it's real.
It's like a land
So
of myth.
I mean, it's real to the point that, we right now we're broadcasting on it, but it's not real to the point that, what I'm saying, people think like Facebook is like a real place. Like they be really like out here, like, no. You be a
I
whole
mean,
then you be be a lot.
but
I think people should unplug. We didn't have this back then. They're even doing experiments now with kids, taking their phones away from them at school, and the kids are feeling so much different after like 2-3 weeks. They're like, wow, I didn't know that there were trees outside. Oh my God. I
what
don't
you
know that there was
wait,
dirt.
hold on, wait. What you mean back then?
Parks.
What is back then?
Which mean back then we didn't have the internet like this.
What do you mean?
When we were outside playing,
What does that mean? It was like what, 2003, 2005?
we
Like
talking
what
about
does
the
that mean?
80s, 90s.
AOL,
Something happened besides, the evolution of PlayStation and Sega Genesis and stuff. That didn't really
Y2K.
change much, because all we did is got kicked out the house. Get out. So we got kicked out to go outside. Now everybody's inside, and nobody come
Honestly,
outside.
I'll be real with you. I would not want the 80s and 90s now.
You
I
getting
wouldn't.
feedback? I got turned down the volume. Oh, it's happening to me too.
Huh? Yeah, I missed the 80s and 90s.
I
That
would
was the
not
time.
want the 80s and 90s back.
Nah, I think we survived back then. I think right now we have a case of people who do not know how to literally manage and live. Like the generation behind us that don't know how to do nothing. They're
I
literally
mean,
sitting there, and that's because, listen, we were taught, don't open that door. Okay, that's what we were taught.
Sounds like
Don't
a
open the door.
complaint.
It's not a complaint. You're talking about the 80s and 90s. We're talking about why you mad about that time. Look at now. That's not complaining. Look at what we have now. This is facts. Facts. Look at the generation we have now. Gen X kids, jobs right now. We're talking about, they don't even want to hire them because they don't know how to work. These
I
are
gotta
not the
give
product of
credit.
the 80s and 90s kids.
I
We are
give
the
quick
products of the
credit
80s
on
and
that.
90s kids.
I
they
give
With
quick
let
credit on
workers.
that.
me
Go
tell you
ahead,
something.
Gabe.
They stay posting on this while they're at work, and that's one of the big problems. Because it's like, tell me how. Oh yeah, I'm gonna show you what I do with this forklift and drive. Like, how you have time to set up your camera and all that? Like, go do your job. Why are you trying to post social media? Oh yeah, I'm homeless, living underneath the desk. Go do your job. Like, I saw a news report about that too, and it's like on Dr. Phil was doing it. Because this generation is crazy. Like, I remember back in like the 2000s and the 90s, like, yo, everybody did they work, whether you were a teenager or in like your early 20s, early adulthood. Like, everybody just went to work. Nobody talked about their business unless it was like on the phone. You didn't have this accessibility with this internet is stupid. People are losing their jobs because of the internet. You got Amazon drivers quitting, like, yo, that's it. It's 100 degrees. I'm leaving these packages. I'm leaving this car in the corner. Like, come on now. But complaining it doesn't do any good. Like, I'll be honest, I complain a lot in person, online, but then sometimes I'm talking to somebody and they'll be like, Hey, how you doing? I'm all right. Can't complain. It's a lie, but I'm not gonna go tell that person. I know when to just keep quiet because it's like, yo, why am I gonna bring up something that I already know that person is not gonna care about, especially if it's not something of importance. It's not like I'm dying. It's not like the world is ending. It's something small and minuscule. We really spend time, like for example, right? Imagine if I took the time to complain about this comb, right? And it's like, yo, it's so small and it can't comb through this. Like, it's stupid. Just go and get another comb that's bigger. But no, you rather complain about this same problem, or this pen keeps on running out of ink and you have to continue to do this to let the ink flow through. It's like, find a solution, instead of
Actually,
complaining.
oh, sorry. No, I give pushback to that, and here's why. I give pushback to that because I think some complaints are valid. Like, for example, you mentioned the Amazon drivers working in 100 degrees, right? So if multiple Amazon drivers are complaining that they're working in unsafe working conditions, right? And they don't have vehicles that will help them do their deliveries, I think it's important for them to voice their opinions and give pushback to their CEOs. I think it's important that, like, maybe certain, even with certain women, right? Like, they use certain avenues to let other people know, like, hey, I was assaulted, or hey, this happened to me, or things of that nature. That's how, like, the change starts, because people may not believe them in person, but if they come online and they have one or two people that believe them and may share what they're going through, then it sparks a different type of energy, right? Like, I can't think of an example at the moment, but there are things that have happened through social media because people have complained, oh, I didn't like this, or oh, I felt like this was a bad thing. Like, for example, right? I'll use a Love and Hip Hop reference, right? That Spanish girl that was on Love and Hip Hop, and she called that black lady the N word with the ER at the end. At the end of the season, she got fired. Why? Because she was being racist. And people have said that she was being racist and there was no proof. But now there's blatant proof that she was being racist. I think people who,
Who is
do
that again?
blatant things, the dance hall girl, Ice, what's her name, man? She was in Vibes. Spice.
What? No,
Spice.
you
Spice.
said, wait, Spice got fired from Love and Hip
No, no,
Hop?
no, 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 no. There was a Spanish girl that called Spice a monkey and an N-word monkey.
Wasn't that Erica Mena?
Yes.
That, I just wanted to be sure, but go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, in situations like that, I think the internet does, help to spread, like, awareness. Like, even when COVID was happening, even though we got, like, multiple different, angles of COVID, like, people were getting the information at a faster rate than as opposed to, like, news or, like, word of mouth. So I think that there are, valid criticisms of the internet, and I'm still saying that I would not want to go back to the 80s and 90s because, yeah, it was cool back then, but when you really think about it, things were starting from that generation. Like, men's sperm count was, I mean, not sperm count, men's testosterone levels were dropping from the 80s and 90s. So that's what I'm saying. Like, this is like, everybody gets mad, oh, men don't want to work and all this other stuff, but this was a result of previous generations. So I can't sit here and wholeheartedly blame a generation for not wanting to work. And again, I disagree with that statement too, because there are people who are willing to work, but jobs aren't hiring them. What do you expect for them to do?
I mean, look, not to get off topic, I believe that there are always jobs hiring. The problem is, I feel like people are picky. They're like, "Oh, I don't want to go and do this," and but what's the problem with having a job that has a pension? Like, it's good if you're getting paid money, but what about you? What about having a job that actually has insurance or 401k plan? These are things that some people of the younger generation don't care about because they're like, "Yo, I got skills. I can make money doing this. That's fine." But what happens when things shift? Like, there was a young man who learned how to make candles during the pandemic, right? And his business was going great. And then somebody online saw that and a company wanted to help him out. It was a black owned candle company. They literally took the company from under him and forced him to sign contracts. And look, after that, he lost his whole business. And while that company is busy making dollars, Now he's trying to find another idea in order to make millions. You know what I mean? Like, and that was supposed to be his thing. But what happened? But like I said, when things change and shift, you got to go back to the drawing board. I know everybody doesn't like to work a 9 to 5, but it's crucial if you're trying to pay your bills. Like, it's just something temporary. It's not permanent, you know. But I feel like having benefits and having a 401k and having a pension plan and all these things are very important. But this generation complains, "Oh, I don't want this job or I don't want that job." But then here are the qualifications. Do you have a high school diploma? Have you done at least a little bit of college? These jobs are looking for that. If you don't have either of those two, you're not going to find what you want. Now, possibly you can go and do something else like a trade where possibly a high school diploma or a college degree is not needed, you know, and that there, you know, would be good also because you can get benefits. But for a generation that says they want to work, they do a lot of complaining. And then when they get these so-called jobs, what do? They post everything online. You know, you're fighting somebody in the local McDonald's, or you're over here cursing somebody out of Dollar Tree. It's just a lot of different things. When we like putting yourself in hot water doesn't help. And then getting fired after corporate sees the video makes it even worse. So, you know, I get exactly what you're saying. I understand. Sometimes using social media and the power of complaining can help change certain things. And we've seen that, right? Right now, there was an uproar at a basketball game where this young boy was given a PS5, I think. And then during the commercial break, they snatched it from him and was like, oh, it's just a joke. So you gave him a PS5 as a part of a joke. There was a miscommunication. There wasn't no miscommunication. Y'all wanted to embarrass him, give him the gift, and then take it away. And then you gave him a jersey. Why do I want a jersey after I just got a PlayStation? Why would you do that? But now people on social media are complaining about it. So sometimes it is good to complain, and then other times it's not. Especially if it's something over something trivial, right? Like, yo, I went to my local fast food restaurant and it was 10:30 and they didn't want to serve me breakfast no more. All right, go home. You got the eggs, the turkey and the cheese. Like, go home and cook it. Because people gonna look at you like you stupid. Or you can go and order it on the app. Do whatever it is that you need to do. Like, you know, have a egg frittata. But the point is that
I will say this though. Piggybacking off of what Ray said, some complaints are valid. And then what you talking about the job? Listen, I'm coming from spending almost 3 years on a job that, well, number one, I was unionized. To get rid of me, you had to jump through too many hoops to do that. Pension, union, you do a certain amount of years, retirement. Come, but you can still keep working, right? We were taught security, retirement, stay, don't complain.
sounds like slavery now.
That job paid well, but was messing with my mental health. I internalized the job too much. The supervisors were like, "Why do you have so much heart?" I thought we was helping the people. When I put in my notice, y'all would have thought I won the lotto. I won the mental health lotto. Then my last 2 weeks out of that job, Ray, they gave, listen, twirling around. They talking about you got to do this, baby. I don't have to do nothing because after next Friday, I'm not gonna be here. What you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. I've been at a job now 2 weeks. Well, no, 3 weeks now. The supervisor gave us gifts at the Christmas party on Thursday. And it was like, this mug is here to help you heal from your workplace trauma. The cup says choose joy. You come in the office, people speak. Even the most introverted persons. You say good morning. Hi, Caroline. I'm pretty sure that people have, the issues of personality, clashes in the workplace. But first of all, Wednesday it was a party, Thursday was a party. Somebody retired on Wednesday. There was like 5 different types of cake. Um, so I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to like slim down. From you drive up to the campus, security talking to you. You see 100 people every day. You trying to make an effort to remember my name. And the supervisor's like, Caroline, wait till you get your caseload. Listen, you keep treating me like this, I'll do whatever you want me to. Those things matter, okay? Our parents' generation just worked jobs because they had bills to pay. And they probably didn't have enough education because they had kids young, etc. Now we live in a day and age where you have options. I can work at home, I can do this, that, and that, whatever. I could be a travel nurse if I'm a nurse. Baby, I'm not finna lose with you. You can use the internet and get paid to travel. So to me, telling me I'm gonna stay at a job because Social Security and retirement and pension, matter of fact, I feel like quitting my job at Tesla, at Tesla, and living out of a Tesla. Okay, I feel like buying a minivan, living out of that, being in Canada next week, Bali on next Friday, taking the train for 4 days, that rigid, like to the book lifestyle that our parents had. These folk, no.
I feel you. I feel you.
You
No,
mean
and
to
no
tell me
one said
you mean to tell me I gotta pay a mortgage, homeowners insurance, taxes,
yes.
utilities? No. I'm finna sell that house, use the profits, put half of it in savings, buy an RV. Okay, and the only thing I gotta pay for is propane and campground fees if I feel like staying somewhere.
That's true.
What are you talking about? Propane is like $30.
Yeah, it is. It is. I feel you. And no one's saying to stay at the job. I mean, obviously, if it's something that we're stressing you out mentally, messing with your mental health, you got to go. And I remember you talking about that, and I'm glad that you made that decision for you. You know what I mean? Because some people can deal with a job for 30 years and it don't affect them, but later on down the line, it's like, you know, you see the effects. But yeah, let's move to our last question, which says, why is it the more that we have, the more miserable we are? Right?
I would say, to simply put, because we're not truly satisfied. Um, and I noticed this, like, even in like my personal life, I decided to become like a minimalist. And like when I started going through stuff that, like, I realized I'm not wearing this, I have no reason, I have no purpose for this. Kind of realized that, like, we buy a lot of stuff. Kanye West said this: we buy a lot of stuff because we don't really need it. Things we buy to cover up what's inside. So pretty much, we just have a lot of stuff
That
just
was
to
about
have it. It
Say
was.
that again one more time. Say that again one more time, bro.
I said, we buy a lot of stuff because we don't really need it. Things we buy to cover up what's inside.
Mm.
And it's true because, like, when you think about it in the long run, right? How many pairs of shoes can you wear? How many items of clothing can you wear? Right? How many cars can you drive? How many homes can you have? How many cell phones do you need? Like, et cetera, et cetera. Right? And like realizing it, unless you're a drug dealer, I know, Caroline, we know. Um, and realizing, like, when you think about it, right? There are people in third world countries that don't have half the stuff that we have, but they use the little that they have and either share it with others or are just grateful for what they have. And I'm realizing that, like, being in a Western country where capitalism, I'm not saying I'm against it, but being in a country where more is more, and realizing that like you don't really need half the stuff that you have, because it's the same thing like a car, right? As soon as you drive it off the lot, it's not worth the same value. So with most of the stuff that we have, you buy something for $50 today, it's like maybe $25 tomorrow, you know? And I think the real joy behind a lot of things is like friends and family, like the intangible things that you can't just put a dollar amount to. That's why like a lot of people in the nursing homes, when they get older and such, they don't want stuff. They want people. They want good people around them that will, uplift their spirits and things of that nature. So that's my answer.
Well said. Well said. Caroline?
Remind me of the question one more time.
Okay. Why is it that the more we have, the more miserable we are?
We're not addressing the emptiness with actually filling it with something substantial. We're trying to compensate that loneliness, that lack, whatever it is that we lack, with one of, well, I'm gonna buy a new purse, maybe it'll love me. If I buy more of this, I'll feel better. And then when you open it up, you use it once or twice, you realize that soul is gone. If I buy all of these self-care products, it was over consumerization or whatever that word is. I'll feel better. If I have a 10-step self-care routine, I'm gonna be better. I'm gonna be great. Once you finish all of that, you're not. So it's like capitalism and trying to fill the gap, and that's a negative. It doesn't really work. But it's also like your tax bracket. Rich folk wear New Balances and take the bus. Wealthy people like have paid off cars. But it's folk, living check to check, buying $500 belts to sag pants. Or like your car note like 1,300, but your check like 12. So what are you doing? Them the same folk. Yep. So until you address the real reason why you feeling neglected, hurt, traumatized, you buying a new purse, new car, new Pooms ain't gonna make you feel better. So that's my closing statement. What else I got? Brother Ray, you gotta, he just went, but he be saying some deep stuff, and I be like, you know what? Shout out to your people, cause you know what? I would hate to have like game night with Ray family and he know all the answers. You know what? I don't even know why I'm here. Peace.
I don't do that. My in-laws family, crazy. Anyway, back
That
to the
that
question, Gabe.
that missus, she just be in the house like, are you done? Like, what is that poor baby?
Oh my god.
All right. So I'm gonna say my piece.
Yeah, with your velvet do-rag. Go ahead.
Why? Anyway, yeah, no. People try to fill the void. People are empty inside, and sometimes gaining material things may make you feel like I'm ahead of the curve. Oh, I have all this money, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna have to get this stuff away at some point. I can't take any of this with me when I die. Um, like a Lamborghini, a Lexus, McLaren. Like, yo, I'm not driving 3 different cars. I'm not having X amount of insurance for 5 different vehicles. I still gotta pay for the house and take care of the mortgage and all these different things. I'm just throwing that in there because the more money you have, the more problems that you receive. And Kanye is actually the greatest example of that. He has a lot of money, but a lot of the time he doesn't know what to do with it. And we can see by how sometimes he parades himself in public. One minute he's just wearing a t-shirt and jeans. Next minute he's got on a bubble goose and a stocking cap over his head. So and I say that because sometimes you want privacy. If people know you for all these riches and different things that you have, in some way you're trying to devalue yourself. Paparazzi's following you around. Everybody wants to take pictures, and you know that your worth, and you know that if they take pictures of you, that's it. So, and that's his way of protecting himself. But the money doesn't heal any of the problems that he has. Money doesn't heal anybody's problem. It's just to fill a void. You know what I mean? Like, if you don't need a Land Rover, don't buy it. Get yourself a simple car. If you don't need the most expensive suit, go to Portobello or one of these other places that can hook you up real nice. Get something that's simple. You know what I mean? I mean, even Claudio Nucci used to help us save back in the day. This is like 20 plus years ago, But times have changed. It's a lot about the being empty. You got to find something that's worth giving. Like, if I had a whole lot of money, instead of just attaining all this wealth and all of these things, I would go and try to give it to charity. I would try to give back. That's what a lot of rich people do at the end of the year. They do it for taxes or to get a tax write-off or whatever. Sometimes it's better to give than to receive. And there's nothing wrong with having material wealth, but material wealth cannot hold you at night when you're crying, when you're deeply in pain, when you have problems that just keep on mounting and building up, right? Sometimes even money separates family and friends. People will complain and be like, yo, I got too much money, and others will be like, oh, well, I don't have what you have. But here's the thing. We complain about not having enough. This person has too much. They wish they didn't have it. The other one wish they did. But neither of them could either live the other person's lives because they're both going through something deeper. And that's all I have to say. And with that being said, I want to thank you guys for joining us on the Meeting of the Minds podcast for this episode, Do We Complain Too Much as a Generation, episode 20. I want to say special thanks to Caroline, Brother Ray, and The Upgrade. We will be back next month on another episode, and we're out. Peace.